Hello, my name is Joey Sosaki. I'm a co-founder of the Beautiful Feet Project, and I am so excited to welcome you to your onboarding experience. For many of you, this is the first time ever going on a missions trip to Japan, let alone any country. And we're excited to walk with you in this journey and get you up to speed so that you can be effective on the ground in Japan, so that the Japanese can have access to Christ. At the BFP project, we leverage a lot of different tools, many of which you probably won't be familiar with, and they have a bit of a learning curve, but it's our hope that these tools will enable you to foster a strong community on your team before you minister. They'll also enable you to cover each other in prayer and generate different content that you're going to leverage in Japan. So with that, let's jump in to the content. So first off, I want to talk through Romans 10. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. How then can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can anyone preach unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring the good news. This verse was given to us by a woman in Japan last year. And it's really become the foundational verse of the Beautiful Feet Project. It lays out such a rich continuum on how there is a clear path to Jesus, and it is to calling out to Him and committing your life to Him. But you can't make that decision if you haven't believed in Him. You can't believe if you haven't heard, and you can't hear if no one's spoken to you, right? And no one can speak to you if they haven't gone. And the reality is that in Japan, there are not enough people ministering the gospel. There are 123 million Japanese and less than 1% know Christ. Every pastor or missionary is trying to reach about 50,000 people. And that pastor to people ratio is way too low. So it's only going to be possible for Japan to know Christ by people like you accepting that call and being willing to go. And we want you to know that your commitment to Japan is precious. It's precious to us. It's precious to the leadership team. It's precious to God. And He sees your feet as beautiful, beautiful because you are willing to step out and do something for the kingdom. Um, as you may know, Japan is a very difficult missions field. They have deeply entrenched cultural beliefs. These are built around Shintoism, which is the belief in shrine worship or multiple gods. We have Buddhism, which is all around self-enlightenment as well as ancestral worship. So you have this locked cultural identity that is contrary to Christianity. So it's very difficult for the gospel to permeate this people group. And it can take years of positive interactions with Christians before people can actually accept Christ and move forward. And we only have 2.5 weeks to minister. So it is very important that we have an intentional onboarding experience. This is going to enable you to know the culture, to know the people, to understand the challenges they're encountering, so that you can tailor your content appropriately to make Jesus famous while you are there. Because of this, there's a sacrifice required. We expect 1 hour a week commitment for 16 weeks of onboarding. After we go through that onboarding journey together, we're then going to start developing our content, such as sermons, worship songs, art curriculum, ESL, all of that, right before we go. So there is a time commitment associated with this, but we trust that if you are willing to make that sacrifice, it's going to yield new fruit in Japan. So let's jump into the 8 tasks for this module. The first one is watching this video, which you're doing. So you can check that one off your list. That's awesome. The second is getting access to our Google Drive. So we use Google Drive extensively. It allows us to collaborate together. We've been doing this for the last 6 years. And basically everything that you do will be in this 2020 small group experience folder. So if you click this link, you're going to see this Google Drive right here. Seems like a lot, but it's really well organized. The first thing you want to do is open this README file, which is right here. This is going to help you understand how to navigate this folder effectively, or this Google Drive, and what everything is and what it's for. I'm going to go through it quickly. This first document is your onboarding process flow. This is going to talk about, from starting when you join a team, everything that you're going to go through prior to launch, and then even when you're ministering in Japan, and then sharing lessons learned and potentially joining next year's trip. So it's a quick flowchart just to give you a rough idea of dates and the general journey you're on. The next document is this onboarding tracker. You're going to be using this extensively over the next 16 plus weeks. So here it is right here. Basically, we have each phase of onboarding laid out. We're still building the rest. Which tasks you have to do in a given phase. And then there's a drop down. So there'll be a drop down for your name. And you can come in here and click any of these and pull down your progress. So if you're watching the intro video, you'll change it from to do to in progress. When you complete the video, you'll change it to complete. And this is going to give you and your teammates accountability with one another. It's not, if life happens and it's complicated and you might be behind by a week or two, that's fine. So what I'd encourage you to do is if, for instance, you start reading the blog and you can't finish, pause it. And it's just a reminder to you that when you do have margin, go back and do that content because it's going to prepare you for ministry. So this is a tool to help you, and it also gives leaders on the team, such as Preston and Isaiah, visibility on exactly where everybody is, so they can keep checking in on you, keep encouraging you and spurring you on. But this is going to give you personal ownership over your development, which is very exciting. So you get to go in here and update it as you go, and see just how well you've been equipped by the end of this journey. Moving on from that, sorry, I got a little lost. You're going to see a document for each week. So right now, week 1 is this document I'm walking through. This is going to have links to all the content or videos. We'll even do like some small group experiences on these documents as well, like journaling and things like that. Finally, we have shared workspaces. So as we build, for instance, sermon prep, we'll put in shared workspaces where you can just dump different documents, make a new doc, a Google presentation, etc. And then you'll have a personal workspace. So you can have a personal folder. And this is a great place, for instance, to write your personal testimony or to put a screenshot of your spiritual gifts assessment in here. This is going to be a space for you to really develop your own story and your content as we go through the onboarding experience. So with that, let's move on. So the third thing you're going to do is watch a video, and there's a link to it right here. This video is about the Japan Initiative. So the Beautiful Feet Project is under the umbrella of the Japan Initiative. And the Japan Initiative is under the umbrella of Converge missions. So Converge is the mission sending arm of the General Baptist Conference, or Greater Baptist Conference. And basically their vision is to see Japan removed from the unreached peoples group list. This involves partnership across denomination, both in the United States and in Japan. So what you're working on in the Beautiful Feet Project is under the banner of the Japan Initiative. So I'd encourage you to watch this video and just reflect on what resonates with you as you prepare to go, and know that you are a vital piece of removing Japan from the unreached peoples group list. The fourth thing we're going to do, download Marco Polo. So this will probably be very new for you. It's a new app. It's very helpful. So here's the app, Marco Polo, and there's a link to it to download in either store. Marco Polo is best described as a video walkie-talkie. So basically you can call in, take a quick video message, and then it'll stay there and everyone can look at it and view it as many times as they need to. So Snapchat information's lost. With Marco Polo, it kind of keeps a living history of all videos for the whole 2020 experience. We're going to use this to answer different small group questions together so that we can start to know each other better. So for instance, you'll post like why you want to go to Japan, or you'll share a piece of your testimony, or what your spiritual gifts are, how you operate under stress. All these things will be done on Marco Polo so that you can have a better understanding of the people you're serving with before you meet each other in Japan. The reason we use this app is it allows you to start and stop fluidly. It's very difficult to coordinate a whole bunch of Google Hangout or FaceTime meetings across all these teams because we're in different time zones and some people work different hours, some are in college. So with Marco Polo, it's going to allow us to journey together at our own pace without spending more time planning and coordinating a meeting than the actual meeting is. So I think you'll find this tool very helpful after you download the app, which is right here. Then click this link and it's going to help you join the Beautiful Feet Project 2020. The second app we'll be using that you need to download is the Echo Prayer app. This is a wonderful app that I absolutely love. It allows you to form prayer groups. So I've already set up a group for the 2020 team. It allows you to post, I think I wrote it right here. 1 second. Here it is. You can share prayer requests. As soon as you share a prayer request, everyone in the group will receive a notification on their phone that they can click on. You can also comment on updates. So you can just keep having a conversation within a given prayer request. So let's say you're praying for financial progress and you need to raise $3,000. It's not how much it's just a number. You can post like, hey, we received this gift, we're making progress, this is how much is going. Someone can post, hey, I'm still praying for you, have you talked to blah, blah, blah. So it allows you to interact around prayer together. And just to kind of root this in scripture out of James, the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. So imagine if all of us are covering each other in prayer as we prepare to minister as well as throughout the trip. Additionally, we can create what are called prayer feeds. So there is a Beautiful Feet Project prayer feed. This is where we share prayers publicly outside of our small group experience. So certain prayers in the small group we will also share out to a larger network of people that are covering our ministry and prayer. So after you download the app, you'll have to contact me at my email and just send me the email you used to log in to the app, and then I can add you to our internal prayer group. Additionally, if you click on this link, it will bring you to the Beautiful Feet Project feed where you can see all of our prayer requests and follow it. The next task is to review blog postings from 2019. So when we look at Joshua 4, the Israelites have just crossed the Jordan River. And God commands them, every tribe pick up a stone and lay it down and remember what God's done. And it even says these stones will remind them that God stopped the Jordan River when the Ark of the Covenant went across. You're about to cross the Jordan, right? You're about to cross the Pacific Ocean and minister to the Japanese, and it's a huge faith undertaking. So it's important to be able to remember what God has already done. And I'm sure God has already done incredible things in your life, but it's helpful to understand what has God already done in Japan the last 5 years through the Beautiful Feet Project. So what I would encourage you to do is to go through the Beautiful Feet Project blog and read about what we've done in 2019 and maybe even 2018 and go back and see this living history on what God has been doing and the miracles that have been experienced there. Because a lot of these miracles have been experienced by the people you will be ministering to. So you'll be able to know the pastors you're connecting with or the lay people that you're connecting with because we've already captured it and documented it. So this week, I just encourage you to go through this blog and glean some new information about Japan in order to bolster your faith moving forward and to see what kind of inspires you. Other tasks, you have 2 more left. We're going to post intro videos to Marco Polo. So it's very simple. Just a short video, 2 to 3 minutes. If you want to talk more, you can. But here's just a couple ideas like where you're from, why God's led you to minister to Japan, what you're excited about, what you're insecure about, and how you want to grow. So it's just an opportunity for you guys to start to foster community. Digital community is challenging, but eventually we're not going to be in the digital space. We're going to be on the ground together ministering. So it's important that we start opening up and choosing to be vulnerable and sharing our testimonies because you want to know who you're serving alongside. And then the final step is to post your first prayer to Echo. So we use a format just to keep things organized. So post with your last name, whatever your request is. And this is just going to allow us to start praying for each other. Maybe you need some health as you go into this trip, or you're concerned about raising support. Maybe you have insecurities because you don't speak Japanese. That's fine. Where you want to grow or develop, where you need to see God move. So spend some time and just kind of reflect how you would like your cohort to be praying over you as you prepare for this ministry. So with that, I'm excited to get this journey going with you. This is new for us as well. We've never built this kind of robust onboarding, so continue to share feedback as we move ahead, and we will adjust the content based on that feedback. So if you feel like we're talking too much about one thing and not another, just let us know. Post that on Marco Polo. Just message us directly. This whole onboarding experience is really about giving you a confidence that you truly are ready to serve in Japan, that God's call of your life is genuine, and that you're going to see great things happen on behalf of the Japanese. So, with that, I thank you, and we'll be praying for you, and see you next week.